Hey, this is Mr. Chi. I'm going to show you the myeconlab grapher. Here's the URL for it. It'll also be a link on Blackboard. Okay, so to use this, first thing you want to start off with is labeling the axes. Okay, so I'm just going to click on Graph Settings. Axis, X-axis, it's quantity. And let's just use example of the quantity of homes. And you can change the scale. I'll explain that in a moment. Here's the y-axis. This is price. It's price per home, or I'll just put price there. And we also want to have this label price go over here. It's kind of a quirk in the software, this application, but just click on display title on left there. And we also want to have a title for this graph. So let's put that in there. This is the market for homes in Moreno Valley. All right, so to put in a demand curve slopes down, D down demand. You just click on the lines and you can label it by clicking on the T for text. And I'll draw in a supply curve as well. So click on the line, drag the ends to shape the curve in the way you want it to be shaped. I'm using the straight lines here for the supply and demand. So I have the supply curve here. Let's change the color so it looks red as well. Now let's also think about what a shift could look like. So let's say if the number of buyers decreased. So maybe people are leaving Moreno Valley. Well, let's put the demand curve to the left because a decrease in the number of buyers is a decrease in demand. So that shifts the demand curve to the left. So I'm going to put D2 there and change this to D1 so that I know the demand curve started here, and as a result of some change, the demand curve shifted to the left. Now, as a result, I can put in the quantities before, or the quantity before, the price before, and then the quantity after, so it's a lower quantity, and the price after, a lower price in equilibrium. Now, the scale here, I mentioned that earlier, the numbers on the y-axis and horizontal axis. Unfortunately, in myeconlab, you can't change them or erase them. Now, for our class, occasionally we will care about the precise numbers for the equilibrium price and equilibrium quantity. But in a lot of cases, we just care about the relative increase in price or decrease in price and the relative increase in the quantity or the relative decrease in the quantity. So from looking at this, with how demand changed, has the price increased or decreased? Well, it's decreased. That's what's important. What about the quantity in equilibrium? It's decreased, and that's what's important. We don't really care about the prices. So in questions or activities where we don't care about the exact value for the price, just how it increased or decreased, or whether it increased or decreased, that's all we need to know. And same thing with the quantity, whether it increased or decreased. We might care about by how much it increased. Did it increase by or decrease by a lot, or increase or decrease by a little? Now, if you do want to make the axes more meaningful, we can do that, right? You just change um, the axes label into say hundreds of thousands of dollars. So one, so I'll just do this here so you can see it. So one $100,000 would be here, two $100,000 will be here, 300,000, 400,000, and so on, and this would be 1 million. Okay, so the equilibrium price was 563,000, and then it fell to 449,000. Okay, we could put in another shift if we wanted to. I'll just do that for fun here. And I'm going to label this, oops, I'm going to make it red so you know it's the supply curve. And I'm going to label this S2, and I need to make it red again. And I'm going to make this S1. Okay, so now if I want to know the equilibrium as a result of these two changes, a decrease in demand and an increase in supply shift to the right of the supply curve, I'll locate that equilibrium with the new supply curve and the new demand curve over here. And this looks kind of confusing, so what I could do is I can label the equilibriums. This is the first equilibrium, and I want to go and make that black. This is the second equilibrium. Okay, I'll make that black as well. And then this is the third equilibrium. Okay, so what happened as a result of these two shifts, one shift in the supply curve and one shift in the demand curve? Well, the price decreased overall, right? But what about the quantity? The quantity decreased, but not by as much without that subsequent increase in supply, because it would have been down over here, but now it's over here. So these are the things you could explain by drawing a graph. That's why drawing the graphs are so important. And this is how myeconlab can allow you to do that. So what you're going to do at the end is you're going to save the image somewhere so you can find it and upload it later. So label it my graph. It's a GIF. Wherever you save it, you can then upload it to Blackboard. That's it. I'm going to show you some other videos, or there will be some other videos using other tools that you might prefer. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.